Welcome back everyone, Mariah here. Happy Monday. I hope you all had a fabulous weekend and spent plenty of time outside. I didn't get out as much as I should have. I was kind of in one of those moods. I just wanted to learn a lot. So I was just in too many rabbit holes on YouTube. So today we're going over the price of Bitcoin, other cryptocurrencies. We're going to be talking about S&P 500. Is it currently correlating with Bitcoin? We're going to take a look back at the past in 2017 of some price action of Bitcoin during the bull run, and we're going to be making some comparisons to see how it measures up now to kind of get an idea of where we're at in this current bull run. If you watched my video yesterday, I went ahead and set some buy orders. I'm going to be talking about if those buy orders actually filled, and if I'm setting more buy orders. I'm going to be talking about if I think the bottom is in on Bitcoin and a bit more. So let's jump into it. It is currently 10:30 a.m. on Monday. That is Eastern time. The current price of Bitcoin is 44.2. So if you watched yesterday's video, I talked a lot about this 200 EMA right here, okay? And I talked about, so yesterday was this number 7 candle, and I was talking about how I thought that Bitcoin was going to touch down at this level at about 42. And I also took, I also noted, so the low came in at 42,147. I also pointed out during that video that that kind of correlated with the high of this candle on January 8th, and the high of this candle was, let's see, 41,986. So what was that, like a difference of about $200? This top right here acted as a, some support on the price of Bitcoin yesterday. So yesterday I set some buy orders from like 45,000 down to 43,000. I set 7 orders, each of them for 0.01 of a Bitcoin, and all of those have filled. So you could check out my fills here. Started at 45,555 all the way down to 43,888, or excuse me, 43,333. And then so those all filled about 11 to 19 hours ago. And then 4 hours ago, I put in another buy order for another 0.01 at 45.1. So I do think it's probable that the bottom is in for this period of time. And so far, since we have topped, let's go ahead and see the percentage number of how much Bitcoin has fallen. So we have seen Bitcoin fall 35% in this period of time. Let's go ahead and take a look at Twitter. So many of you have probably already seen this, but during this complete and total crash with a ton of blood in the streets, I honestly had no desire to sell. I had zero panic. I'm just like, the price of Bitcoin is like $45,000. And it was $10,000 not that long ago. Like, even if I sold now, that's such a massive gain. Like, how do you even get upset about that? And I'm still here for the long term, right? Like, I'm not trying to be selling off a big portion of my Bitcoin in the short term. Like, I am in Bitcoin for the long term. These shakeouts happen all the time. Let me show you. So this right here is 2017. You could see Bitcoin pulled back 38%. You could see it pulled back, 38, 33, 38, 36, 29. All of those massive pullouts or pullbacks and shakeouts during the 2017 bull run. So let's go ahead and look back at 2017. And I saw this point in the chart, which made me kind of feel like what we just saw exactly yesterday. So when you take a look at this 200 EMA on the daily Bitcoin chart, very interesting here. You can see that it was July 16th of 17, which is kind of weird that this basically happened on May 16th of 2021. But you could see how close Bitcoin got to that 200 EMA. And then you could also see that, so the fall was from almost 3,000 down to about 1,700. That was a 41% pullback. And then you could also see that, so it bottomed here June 16th, and then just not that long afterwards, on the 20th, it jumped up significantly and went up 68% within days. Obviously, that would be a little bit more hard or more challenging to happen with Bitcoin because the market cap is much bigger and the market cap was much smaller during this period of time. But, just seeing this candle right here this 9 candle almost hit that 200 EMA, and it basically capitulated there, and then Bitcoin went up to make, its all-time high in 2017 of $20,000. And another interesting look here is that, so the bottom of that candle, which was, July 16th, Bitcoin went up 184% by September 2nd. So that just kind of gives you an idea of how the market responded back in 2017. So we will see if the bottom is in for Bitcoin over the next couple of days, or see if it continues to go lower. I think 28 to 37 is still not off the table. What I've learned is that if this is your first time in cryptocurrency, you think that it's not possible for Bitcoin to pull back 30, 40, 50% in a bull run. It is absolutely possible, okay? So daily chart here, made a lower low. So technically we don't have any major bullish signs, right? We'd want to see Bitcoin make a lower high, maybe pull back and make a higher low and then continue to the upside. That could take a few weeks. So the daily chart isn't showing a ton of bullish conviction, but I am happy with my purchases, and I do think, I would be really concerned if Bitcoin does go below the 200 EMA. So that is something that you want to keep an eye on and keep in mind. And, another thing is to look at previous tops, right? So it was pretty interesting how this top back in early January acted as a level of support for this current period of time. So, since the low of, I believe the low came in this morning, we are up about 7% or so. So let's go and take a look at the smaller time frames. The 12-hour chart, is, there is no signs of bullishness on this 12-hour chart. So let's go ahead and take a look at the 4-hour. The 4-hour is still also trending downwards. There is a possibility here on the 1-hour chart as Bitcoin is showing a little bit more strength, but at the same time, this red 2 is going below the red 1, which is also bearish. Like I said yesterday, when I was placing those orders between 43 and 45,000, it felt like I was catching a falling knife. The scenario still sort of kind of feels the same. The 30-minute chart is giving us a little bit of hope here. Didn't make, if this was a high and this was a low, and this could have been a higher high, but not a ton of conviction also as well in the 30-minute. Let's go and take a look at the 5-minute on Bitcoin. So 5-minute is trending downwards. So across the board, there is, you are basically catching a falling knife here on Bitcoin. You can see here when the market opened at 9:30, Bitcoin went up a little bit, but then it kind of started correlating with the stock market. So let's go ahead and take a look at S&P. S&P is down today. It's fallen about 0.5%. The SPY is currently at 1414. Let's go ahead and take a quick look at Tesla since we're looking at stocks right now. Tesla also opened up down today and is currently trading sideways on the 5-minute chart. So let's go ahead and head back over to crypto. Look at Ethereum. I was saying yesterday how Ethereum looked stronger than Bitcoin. Let's go ahead and take a look at the daily chart on Ethereum. You can see here that the bodies of the candle are being held up by these moving averages. There's not really a ton of support, in this area. So I wouldn't be surprised to see Ethereum go back to $2,500. And, as this moving average, this 200 EMA, continues to increase, you might have a buying opportunity for Ethereum between like $2,000 and $2,600. So if you want to set some buy orders down there, not a terrible idea. And like I said, Ethereum is going to probably pull back more from a percentage standpoint eventually than Bitcoin. So if we see, Ethereum pull back 40%, that's going to take it down to 2,600. So I know that if you are just in a cryptocurrency, it feels impossible that it could go up or just come back down so quickly, right? It's so easy to accept all the gains when Bitcoin and Ethereum and all the other coins are going out of control. But you have to also, expect and respect the fact that it is going to go down in the same sort of fashion, just like it goes up so quickly. So it's hard to catch the top, hard to catch the bottom. It's hard to sometimes get back into Bitcoin if you sell a little bit. So that's why you're kind of just better off holding if you don't need this money for the long term. Let's look at the Ethereum and a Bitcoin chart. Ethereum has been super strong against Bitcoin, trading here a little bit sideways on the daily chart. Let's take a look at the 12-hour. The 12-hour is still in a bullish posture. So Ethereum may continue to be the big winner. So let's go ahead and take a look really quickly at how much Ethereum has pulled back from the all-time high. So Ethereum has pulled back about 28% from the all-time high. Whereas, let's see here on Bitcoin. Bitcoin has pulled back about 34%. So technically so far, Bitcoin has pulled back more than Ethereum. You know, Ethereum may continue to be the stronger coin against Bitcoin. Let's go take a look at the 1 hour chart on Ethereum versus Bitcoin. So technically a momentum shift. We saw a low here, but then we got a higher high, and this could potentially be printed as a higher low. So you can see here on this 1 hour chart, it was held up really nicely by the 200 EMA. Interesting how you've noticed, like you see how the 200 EMA is holding up, you know, these coins, but at the same time, it's not really touching it. It's right above it. So a lot of people are, you know, putting their orders in that range. That's why you don't want to put it exactly where the EMA is. You kind of want to put it right above so that your orders actually get filled. You don't want to be missing out. Okay, Nexo down to 326. Let's go look at the daily chart. Okay, so because like this candle right here has me quite concerned that Nexo is going to go significantly lower. And if it comes down to the 200 EMA, we're looking at the, you know, $210 range. So that could be potentially a good spot to be buying some Nexo if you want to get to that platinum status. Let me pull up a different Doge chart because the one on Coinbase doesn't have enough data for us. The 12 hour is, you know, if we go below the low of this candle right here, which is 35 cents, it's going to get really ugly for Dogecoin. And then we're probably going to see it come down to this EMA at about the 25 cent range. So honestly, a 25 cent Dogecoin is, I would say, like 65 to 70% chance, just to let you guys know. And I'm still in my Doge position. I might sell it, but I haven't done it yet. I was considering doing it yesterday when it hit like 50 to 51 cents. I'm probably going to be considering dropping it finally today. A 5-minute chart trending downwards on Dogecoin after trading sideways for this period of time. Honestly, I should probably get out right now. I'm probably gonna do this after this video. Like 80% chance I'm gonna go close my Doge position once I get off this video because it is not looking good at all. Ethereum Classic down to 88. I mean, it's just red across the board. Anything that is green on this chart, it doesn't belong. Like the euro, it doesn't belong. And gold, I mean, technically it kind of, you know, but gold is up today. XRP actually, 144. Nexo against BTC actually up 5%, which isn't bad. I sold some Matic yesterday at about the 160 or 66 range, and I had an opportunity to buy back a few cents lower, but I didn't. I just wanted to go and just take some profits and then move on. SKL taking a massive hit. This is one that I bought recently. The 5-minute looks horrendous. Let's go and take a look at the 12-hour chart. 12-hour chart not giving us a ton of conviction in either area. Let's take a look at the daily. The daily and the 12-hour are very similar in terms of looking neutral and not a ton of conviction, you know, in either direction. So I'm probably going to sell my Doge as soon as I get off of this video. You saw that I have been purchasing, you know, small chunks of Bitcoin on the way down. Not a bad idea to probably put some more buy orders in. There is a possibility that Bitcoin revisits the 200 EMA and goes slightly below it. So that is something that you want to keep in mind. If you're trying to get Bitcoin for a sweet deal and you're like, okay, I want to set some like, you know, crazy low orders that could get filled, maybe not. I would set some orders at like 37, 38, 39, like just below 40,000. I think that's a possibility. Okay, something that's really interesting that I always like to take a look at and I haven't done in a while is Google Trends. So if you just go type in Google Trends, you could type in a topic like Bitcoin, okay? So you're gonna get some data based on what people are searching for on that whatever you type in. So for example, you could see here, this is Puerto Rico, but I want to change this to worldwide. And this is giving me a 12-month like chart on all categories. And so you can see here, Nigeria is always #1 when it comes to searches. So it kind of gives you interest by region of what people like are looking up Bitcoin. This is over the last 12 months. So what's interesting is that the search of Bitcoin peaked between January 3rd and 9th of that week. So that was when people were most searching Bitcoin on Google. And you can see that it's been trending downward since then. But what's interesting is that we didn't make the all-time high with Bitcoin on that day. So that is something to kind of be aware of. I'm gonna go ahead and change this 12-month period to 2004 to present. So this is what's really interesting, is that we saw the peak right here in December of 2017 when Bitcoin peaked at $20,000, but Google Trends hasn't even gotten remotely close to that same level. You could see the difference here and how far away we are from the all-time high of searches. Okay, so let's go ahead and change Bitcoin to how to buy Bitcoin. I'm gonna say this is probably gonna be a really similar chart. Actually, kind of surprising here that it's like even lower. We are like even further away when it's just how to buy Bitcoin compared to 2017. Let's look at something like XRP, or let me type in Ripple first and see what happens. Really interesting. So Ripple, like the searches, so that means that retail is here, but not having as much of an impact as it did in 2017. So that's really fascinating. Let me just type in Coinbase. People are probably searching that more on the App Store. So this is really interesting right here. This kind of gives us an idea of retail a little bit. You can see the peak here, and we are actually almost there. And that's what's interesting about that, is that Coinbase was number one in the App Store like a few days ago. I don't know if it still is. Thank you so much for watching. If you'd like to support my channel, please check out the links down below. And I want to know, where exactly are you setting your Bitcoin buy orders? That is all I have for you today. As always, go out there and create a portfolio that you love.